Hello there. After the last video I sized up the roster and realized we could use at least one more right defenseman, so say hello to Chris Weidman. Holy crap, Owen Power has grown and I can't ignore him any longer, he's getting signed now. So now it's the dawn of the 2022-23 season, and I have no fucking idea what to expect. All I do know is that I haven't been able to move Jack Eichel yet, because the best offers I'm getting are second-round picks, and he's worth more than that. It's more likely I'll see fair offers near the trade deadline. I guess I'm hoping for promising signs like Owen Power's recent growth spurt and more wins than the previous year, but not much more than that because I want another high pick in the draft. I guess this would be your 2022-23 Buffalo Sabres, short of a slightly injured starting goalie who'll be back in a game or two. Just like last time, I'll adjust this lineup every 5 games or so unless injuries force otherwise. And so the season begins. Interesting, Winnipeg has randomly offered a late pick for Tage Thompson, who sucks badly enough that I'll just take it to get him off the team. We're now 40 games in and sitting right where I thought we'd be, low in the standings, but better than last year. Now I've been getting some inquiries on Eichel, and Seattle in particular seems interested, so we may see development on that front soon. The farm team seems to be doing well this year so far. The lineup going into the second half of the season. And finally, Seattle bends and offers a fair deal, sending me a first this year and a second next draft for Eichel. I can now fulfill his trade request and switch my focus to getting prospects over draft picks. To replace Eichel on a temporary basis, I've signed Tyler Ennis for the rest of this season. Ahead of the trade deadline, there's a few other forwards like Skinner I'd like to move for prospects, but I'll take picks. Here's an interesting offer for Galchenyuk, a center prospect that looks good, but I lack any scouting info on, a third this year, and a second-round pick next year. It's a gamble, but I have no center prospects for Belleville at all, so why not? It's now the trade deadline and there's been zero interest in any of our remaining older players. Nonetheless, I want to get some more assets, so I'm going to make something happen. Here's some player stats as I work the phones, so to speak. Believe it or not, I'm still working those phones because there seems to only be limited interest in just a couple of players, but I think I can make something happen. It was Skinner who was getting the most interest, and it was Winnipeg who would step up and send me a first-round pick in next year's draft. Well, the season's now over and once again we shift our focus to the future. As we take a final look at the roster's stats, I realize we're going to once again see a lot of movement this off-season. For this season's championship, it's Seattle, including Jack Eichel, against Tampa Bay. And there you have it, Jack Eichel and the Kraken have won the championship. But of course we don't get a top 3 pick, but this won't stand, not after we missed out on getting Shane Wright last year. While I've been working on signing some of the upcoming free agents, I've also been asking about moving up in the draft, and surprisingly the Sens want to talk. Now this initial ask is way too much to pay, but I'll try and work with it, maybe talk them down to accepting other prospects. Their pick, by the way, is the 2nd overall. There's a defenseman who should be selected first, and from there I might get to pick between 2 outstanding centers, Bedard and a guy named Spink, or maybe it's Spinks, I forget, but stick around and you'll see. So now it's a question of who else might interest them other than our top pick from last year or Owen Power. Oh wow, my counter offer got accepted. Yes, that's a lot of picks to send back their way, but I get to pick at number 2 again, while keeping Owen Power and my top pick from last year as well, so it's well worth it. So on that note, let's get this draft started. With the first pick done, we can look at our options, and first in line is Rory Spink. We could take this defenseman Bronson Reid, but with Eichel gone I really need a stud center, so I'm skipping him. Other than Spink there's also Bedard, and the difference between them seems minimal. In fact, I may as well flip a coin and hope for the best. Bedard seems to be closer to roster ready, but I think Spink will be better long term. My first instinct is to take Spink, and I've decided to stick with it. Welcome, Mr. Spink, you're a new space monkey of the Buffalo Sabres. Charlie Kinsman here is a candidate for my next pick, a late first rounder, but I'm not sure just yet. And here's another candidate, but do I want to pick 2 centers in a row? I'd actually select left defenseman Chris Newton, and here's a better look at his stats post-draft. At my next pick, Kerry Terrence remained available and I couldn't pass him up a second time, just another space monkey for my collection. And Charlie Kinsman remains available after that pick, so I may as well grab him too. Just like last year, I don't think there's much else left that's all that great, so I'll skip covering the remaining picks, because I have big plans for the off-season. We're now in the off-season and Sean Monahan is available while I'm in need of a top-line center, so I'm making him an offer. Let's hope we can recreate some of that SHA magic. Hey, guess what? We need right wingers, and this guy, whose name I still can't pronounce, wants to be a space monkey again, so why not? Maybe I'll sell him off later for another second-round pick. I'm in need of at least one more defenseman, and Zoop here would fill in nicely. Let's welcome another space monkey. Now I'm searching for some bottom six forwards, and Miles Wood looks like he's eager to sign up as a space monkey. And I think here's another space monkey in Theodor's Blue Jays, and yes, I have no shame in ripping off my SHA Senators. And finally I'll bring back Anders Bjork again, even though he wouldn't even negotiate with me ahead of free agency. I guess that once he saw what else there was to offer outside of Buffalo, he decided that being a space monkey wasn't all that bad. And I think I'll grab this one more forward just to ensure we have some depth. Okay, with our off-season moves made, I think I'll end the video so we can pick things up again at the beginning of next season. Thanks for watching.